Hi, my friends. Welcome to Sort of Brilliant, a show where the characters are made up and the sorting absolutely does matter. My name is Rachel.
And I'm her best friend and co-host, Lauren. Every other week, we're going to invade a fandom and determine whether your favorite character belongs in Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin.
We're the Harry Potter podcast that talks way more about any other franchise.
Here, we use the sorting structure from Harry Potter as a common language without supporting the author or her beliefs. As for the sorting itself, there's bound to be some arguments along the way.
But in the end, we're always right.
According to us.
According to us.
Is there any chance you're going to do Jamie accent at all during this episode?
There's a huge chance I'm going to do every accent or attempt to. It's going to be real bad.
I'm a Swiftie, duh. Obviously.
Welcome to another episode of Sort of Brilliant.
Well, heaven knows I try.
Yeah. You tried, mate. Keeley.
Welcome.
Keeley.
Well, your EYs become EHs, kind of like you're Canadian.
Can you guys tell who my favorite character is?
Guys,
just kidding, it's not Jamie.
Do you even know what we're sorting?
Everybody, let's
Michael
go.
Scott.
Whoever we feel like talking about.
Show we're sorting? The most popular show, I am pretty sure, or one of the most, definitely the most popular Apple TV show. And it's Ted Lasso. Very excited that I forced Rachel to watch this. I don't know. Would you have watched it without this podcast? Nope.
No.
See? And she loved it. So that's what we got going for us.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't ever going to watch it just because I'm, like everyone else who refuses to watch it, I'm not into sports. So I didn't, but I mean, how do you know?
That's what I tell you. I've done this to 3 people now. So here's my, so I've been watching Ted Lasso since it premiered. I was ready for it. I got Apple TV for it. It's like the first thing I think that dropped on Apple TV ever, basically. But so this show is based on a series of Super Bowl commercials with Jason Sudeikis as Ted Lasso. And in those commercials, it's because the Premier League was moving to NBC. So in the commercials, Ted Lasso is actually kind of like an asshole, like Dick, because he like doesn't understand football and refuses to like learn about what football soccer is. So he's just like comparing it to American football. The commercials were really funny, and I just saw Apple TV was making a show based on the Super Bowl commercial Ted Lasso, and I was like, interesting, I'll watch that. I love soccer. I played soccer for 15 years. So I think
soccer?
Soccer, yeah.
You mean football?
Football is life.
Football is life.
But I think it dropped. I can't remember if it dropped. Probably not. I don't think Apple ever dropped anything all at once. But I watched it through really as it went. I loved it. My friend Miriam, who is hugely selective about the TV that she watches, we stayed up. I was like, I think you'll like this, and I showed it to her. And to my great surprise, we stayed up watching it until like 4 a.m. We watched the entire first season. Like, I was so surprised because she's so selective about the TV shows she watches. And then when I woke up the next morning at like 10, she was rewatching it. So, and obviously I did that with Rachel and Hannah. I made watch it. I sat down and watched it with her and TJ. And Hannah was the same thing. She's like, I don't want to watch a sports show. It's like, it's not a sports show. It's not a show about soccer. It's a show where soccer is the connecting factor between all of the people in the show, basically.
I guess they don't really need their marketing to be better because it's wildly successful anyway, but I didn't feel like it was marketed well to a non-sports loving person like myself, so I just wouldn't have picked it up unless somebody recommended it.
Well, they didn't
Even
want
with
you
all the
anyway.
hype, I was like, it's not for me. It's a show about a sports team. Like, at its core, it revolves around that, but it's really a show about...
Never watched Friday Night Lights?
I did, and I did not like it anywhere near as much as this. That's a drama.
I think Friday Night Lights is a sports show also, isn't it? Like, the football matters a little more.
Yeah, it's high school football. It's very One Tree Hill-ish, but more dramatic.
Like CW's All American, which is apparently
but it's more serious than CW level.
True, yeah. I can't believe that's ABC. The CW's like highest grossing show. I really can't. Who's watching it? I don't know anybody who watches it.
I don't know. Me neither.
Crazy. Anyway, that's our diss of All American
this show,
tonight.
so
yes, everybody does watch that.
I hope. I know. I was in a very small minority of people that wasn't watching it.
Is it the season finale? Is it the series finale? It was not called the series finale. Another thing in my hope checkbox, they called it the season finale. So
The guy who played Nate put out a whole thing, and he ended it with
Mohammed.
like, there will be a season 4 or there won't be a season 4. Edit this however you so choose. Like, that's how he ended off his whole thing. So, and whatever. It's being left wide open.
Yes, it was.
There's a huge potential for however they want to revisit
that mixed bag finale.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rachel, when before Rachel started watching, and she was like, "Who are we sorting from this?" I listed like 8 people that I was like, "We can sort these people," and then I was like, "Honestly, I don't know. I can take some people off the list. Like, I don't really. We know what Nate is, but I don't feel like talking about him. And we know what Higgens is, but I don't know that we need to say much about him. Like, we could just say it. So I don't know. We're gonna do whatever we feel like."
Yeah, but that's true.
Just like the show, we're leading with our hearts.
Some characters don't need a big deep dive analysis.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking there are 3 of them that we could kind of just talk about all at the same time. So
they're very different. That's not true.
They are, but they can kind of be unionized.
I've never seen this happen before in this specific manner. I've seen it happen before.
It's really interesting, and it really excited me. I was excited about it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Well, we'll probably get into discussing the finale as we get into each character and how their
spoilers for the finale,
ends.
Which premiered last night, or for people who are listening to this last Tuesday. So it's been a week. If you're watching Ted Lasso, you should have watched it. I don't know what to tell you. The spoilers are online now. There's no escaping them. We certainly are
Hopefully
not spoiling
by now
it for
you know if there will be a season 4.
I hope so too. Yeah, I don't know. Apple takes a while.
But yeah, they can. They can do whatever the hell they want.
It's true.
Yeah.
Jason Sudeikis can do whatever he wants.
Has a bunch of really good shows, actually. But
her divorce papers while she was on stage.
He's a petty bitch, I tell you what. That was a good move, though.
You think he meant to do that?
Yeah, and I think that was extremely deliberate. Like, you don't leave me for a child rock star and get away with it. I'm gonna make a hit TV show and serve you in public. Hell yeah! I don't think he's the same house as Ted.
Oh no, I don't either. So Jason Sudeikis, no, I think his role. You've seen Horrible Bosses. I feel like he trends more toward that in real life.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's a very good actor.
Yes.
I didn't expect to like Ted as much as I did, and then I really, really loved him in seasons 1 and 2, and then in 3 he started really getting on my nerves.
They didn't give him a lot to do in 3.
I know. And it got on my nerves, and his personality started to get on my nerves, even though, like, he always ends up being right.
It's because all he had to do was like, be like sad in the background of other people's stories. Like, they didn't give him any.
And just constantly, unrelentingly forgiving.
Yeah.
And some things.
And that's disgusting.
Like, come on. There's too many things, too many wrongs were done to him. Like, you have to make people work a little harder.
But I appreciated the story that Beer told Nate, because that helped me understand it a little better. If they hadn't told that story, I would have been like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, but the thing with his wife and the therapist, it's just gross, and I don't understand how. Well, we'll get into it. It's all part of his characterization. It's all part of his house, which is wild. Like, really, truly wild. I just prefer Happy Ted. I don't know, guys. I just wanted him to have a happy ending.
I think we all prefer Happy Ted.
Yeah, I didn't like
over morose Ted.
Sadly staring into my face, breaking the fourth wall look.
Yeah, I sent Rachel an article right before we started this that kind of went through, and it basically like highlighted all of our issues perfectly or whatever. Like, the show pretty much tells you that Ted's whole arc is supposed to be like getting over his wife and like finding new meaning in life and new family or whatever, which, you know, was really great that he found a soccer team and a bunch of people he loved in England. So then the last season they were just kind of like, never mind. So I guess that wasn't the lesson. I don't know what
the lesson for him was. I know what it was for everybody else.
That's the problem. They went a little too hard. Like, this show was never about me. They were like, actually, you get no lesson either.
We actually didn't know you at all. Get your ass back to Kansas. Nate was right. Like, what? What? God. It's just, so my issue with it isn't that he needed to be with his son. It's why couldn't his son be brought there?
Right.
Like, you need to be with your kid. I completely understood. And I think sometimes, like all parents, if you're not a sociopath, you know, all parents are going to agree with me that if you're separated from your child like that across the fucking ocean, you're going to feel like a limb is really missing, like a part of you is gone, and you can't, it's got to be the most horrendous feeling. So I completely understood needing his kid. But then you were showing me that his wife was in this like really strange relationship with a therapist that was there to fix their marriage. And it really was gross and icky and weird. Mm-hmm. And I did not see any reason to not bring his son to England. His son loved the team. That he was so easily like pulled into that world, and Beard was great with him. All the guys were great with him.
Like whatever.
Very, very strange shit. I don't like how his story ended. That's all. That's all I'm getting at.
Yep. So should we start with Ted? I mean, we're definitely sorting him, so.
Well, we have to start with Ted because no matter what he says, the show was about him. So,
and he might be the only one not ever coming back. So,
oh man, they're gonna Michael Scott it if they do season 4. He'll come back like 10 minutes in the last episode, probably.
You think? I think he might come back. I mean, I don't know what Jason Sudeikis is gonna do now. I feel like
who knows? Like, serve somebody else papers publicly.
Actually, I
don't know.
Ted Lasso. What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, I know. I mean, he might just need a break.
Yeah,
which is fine. Yeah. And I think
divorced,
like what better way to just give yourself an out completely? Like, I need a break, I need time to think, than to leave everything so extremely open-ended, because he can do whatever he wants with this. Mm-hmm. Whatever he wants. And they will
can
all
even
come
continue
back
without him and then have him come back pretty easily, because, you know, the coaching team's all his like friends. So
yeah. And the way that it ended, like the dream sequence is not necessarily what actually
was that a
is
dream
going to
sequence?
Happen. Yeah, he woke up on the plane after thinking about it.
So you think that was a dream?
I know it was a dream because when he was getting on the plane, he picked up a magazine saying that Rebecca sold 49% of the shares. And that was the flight that he was just getting on. She hadn't done that day, like that very minute. So it seemed to me that he was...
How would he have been dreaming about her meeting the Danish guy again? Or the Dutch guy?
Was that also in his head?
Yeah.
Was that also
everything
prior to him waking up?
Everything... Maybe that wasn't... I don't know when that started. I thought
it's unclear. It's unclear.
I thought that because the song started, that was during the song. That happened during the song. I'm pretty. Yeah.
I don't know, but being that he picked up a magazine with something that would have happened in the future.
Yeah, I know.
While he was in the airport, did it make sense?
I know it was so weird because I mean they did things that could have happened, and I assumed
absolutely
did happen. So
definitely
like the barbecue and Keeley's business and Roy becoming manager. Like, I'm pretty sure Roy did become manager. So, like,
he could have. It's literally meant for us to have this discussion. That was the point.
Instead of sorting
was
characters.
it all a dream? Was it? You're not supposed to know. Like, because if they want to revisit
that was another
it,
thing people were super mad about. They were like, he wasn't at Beard's wedding. His best friend in the world, and he wasn't at his wedding.
But did that wedding even happen? Did that terrible background of Stonehenge CGI actually happen? We don't know. We'll never know. But maybe we will in a year or two. So let's hold out hope for it. As far as Ted goes, I mean, I gave myself a couple of episodes.
He's an obvious one.
Yeah, I gave myself a couple episodes to like really, really nail it down. But I mean, it does jump out at you in an unfortunate way. Especially if you've listened to us or follow along with anything we've ever said. There's a house that's really big on like dad jokes and puns, and I don't know why they're like this. I don't know, but it's so common, and it was like such an obvious glaring thing.
I didn't
on top
even
of everything else.
Peg that for a reason, but I guess you're right.
Dude, it's so much with him and like so many others that we know what's going on. Oh, she loves them. Oh my god.
Yeah, so Ted's a Hufflepuff, which I feel like is like a gimme, and like people are gonna be like, "Oh, so boring." I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what to tell you. He's a Hufflepuff.
He's an interesting one though, because so often when we do Hufflepuff characters, we get a lot to we get to see like a really unhinged, crazy side that we get to talk about with like their intense othering and all.
We only got like 2 seconds of Led Tasso.
We only got 2 seconds of Led Tasso, who I would love to have an alter ego like that. And I mean, the closest we came to seeing him truly angry is when he's talking to his mom and it's the thank you, fuck you speech. And it's not even anger.
He gets mad at Dr. Sharon, too, a little bit.
That's true.
When he's
he
like,
does.
therapy's fucking stupid.
But it's like
you just want to con
immediately
me.
explained.
Yeah.
Immediately explained and like rationalized. Like he doesn't have any outbursts or unhinged behavior that we have to explain away. Like he's so level-headed that it's infuriating. Like, why are you this
It's infuriating.
good? Like no one's like this, okay?
There are some, I mean, I was thinking the other day, Rachel, I actually think we may have finally unseated Cass as the farthest left Hufflepuff.
Oh boy. You think he's a good little soldier to that level?
Yeah.
I guess. He could be.
Look how fucking devoted he was to his marriage.
Yeah.
Like, that was his thing.
What a shame.
And he left because he was hurt. And because they told him that was the best thing to do.
I actually
and then that
don't
didn't
want to
work.
agree with you. I don't want to agree with you because it's like not
That he's
fair
farther left than
to be
Cass?
that devoted to a
It's not fair at all. That's what the show told us, though. It really sucks.
Given that was a stupid ass decision, I've elected to ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean,
what
even
the
if you
fuck?
ignore the finale, it's shown throughout the show. Like he keeps
I know,
telling
it's
Michelle that he
infuriating.
loves her. Like, I know it is infuriating. Anyway, the good parts. Let's not talk about his wife. I told Rachel when we were watching this because you've watched the show, you know what Nate does to Ted. And Rachel and George were getting upset that, like, Ted doesn't really respond. And actually, you could see, like, Beard getting frustrated with this, too, that, like, Ted was just letting this happen and, like, didn't really care to, like, I guess they would use the words fight back, and Ted would be like, I don't have to, give him attention. But I was like, Ted is just, he loves humans for the sake that they're humans and are flawed, and he just, like, gives them the tools to be better, and if they aren't better, he's just disappointed in them. Like, he doesn't get mad at them. He's not really a petty Hufflepuff. he's just like, well, that's a real darn shame that I put all this work into trying to teach you and you weren't grateful enough to appreciate that. That's a shame. And then he leaves.
The reason that's endearing with a character like Cass is because he's a different species.
Okay.
I don't find it condescending. I find it condescending when a human being is that way. But it's difficult to stay mad at Ted or to be like, oh, you're looking down on me, bro, because he is so genuinely nice. And he really does
care about you. Yeah.
But doesn't want the best for himself. That is maddening. It's maddening.
Yes, that is true. That is very maddening.
But it's just who he is.
It's part of his whole, like, serving others usefulness type deal. Like, he don't have to do that for himself.
He was aware that his son needed him more than the team needed him at this point in time.
Right.
And he also needed his son. But most importantly, Joe Hufflepuff is like, where do I need to be at this point? Like, to be the most, I guess, the most useful. I hate using and overusing that word to them. But that is where he would be the most useful. I know. But it's like, he is very stereotypy, like, in terms of a Hufflepuff. He truly is.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? He just is, like, if I had to list all the things out of a Hufflepuff, at least to the midway point of characters, like, on our scale, he hits them all. And I would have liked to have seen what happens when he hits, like, the anger level and stays there and starts to get mad at people.
I don't know if he ever has. Like, Beard told us all that shit that he did to Ted, and it doesn't sound like he got mad at Beard.
No.
Like,
you just sort of see him.
I feel like you'd have to see somebody endanger his child or his wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Nate brought his kid up. And then Ted took it as a learning moment. Like, he internalized it and he was like, damn, maybe my kid does need me. Maybe I should be back there. And he ends up back there. Like, you proved Nate right. That's annoying. Because all Nate needed was to play his violin and be told he was a fucking genius. And Nate is fixed.
Daddy
and
loves
Nate wins.
Me. And he got a
girlfriend.
Nate
wins.
And he got a girlfriend. For reasons unclear to me.
This
why
cardboard
they like each other.
Out of a human who can't say fucking baklava.
She was extremely mean to him, and he was pathetic. And I guess that's why they're together.
I don't know if it would be awesome or really infuriating to have a friend like Ted. Like, for me personally, I would probably really enjoy him.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could be like Beard and sit back and allow him to be super forgiving without me get like raging about it, because
Beard
I
does.
get it from Beard's perspective.
And
No,
Ted
Beard doesn't
lets
do
him.
enough. Beard doesn't do enough. It's not enough.
He's throwing darts.
It's because Beard has this whole backstory with him. He can't go that far with him, right?
Yeah.
I don't have a backstory with you, Ted. I'm gonna get really mad. You know who I would have liked to have seen it? Rebecca.
Yeah.
Like, if we had gotten to see it, or Roy, if he knew the extent of
Rebecca
everything.
was that Rebecca like wasn't invested enough in Nate. You know, like she didn't really know him at all. Yeah, I think that was part of the problem.
But even Roy, like they showed him the footage of him ripping apart the sign.
Yeah,
but Ted didn't tell anybody what Nate said to him privately.
No, and I don't think he told anybody that Nate released the thing to the newspaper. Oh yeah, he did.
Nope.
Beard knew. Didn't Beard know?
But Beard, it's different. Like,
I think Beard knows everything.
Because
but he didn't
Beard
publicly tell people.
Correct. He didn't publicly tell people. But Beard is different because he has this like, it's the backstory. Like, he can't actually push it any further than he pushes it. And you see, like, he freaks out. He's like, enough. And he goes and threatens Nate at his doorstep. And it was so funny.
He should have killed him.
He should have killed him. I was waiting for it.
You're waiting for him to kill him?
Yeah, I was waiting for it. I was really hoping it was going to become like a murder show. I don't forgive Nate, so I don't
either.
Like, I also don't buy into the writing that the team forgave him so easily.
Yeah, that's one of the things that they really needed to have on screen, because that came out of fucking nowhere. And that article that we read also pointed out that two of the people that he like super terrorized the most, Colin and Will, were like two of the three people that went. I forgot how much he terrorized Colin. And then with Colin's whole backstory, now that we know it, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, it's really not fair, especially because I think it was season 2 or maybe it was in season 1, where we got to see the team, specifically Sam, get angry about the possibility of Ted bringing Jamie back.
That was the beginning
That
of
was a
season
big
2.
deal.
Yeah.
That was a big deal, but this wasn't.
Right.
I don't buy it. So,
he gave
I don't
him
know.
5,000 pounds and it was fine.
Yeah, sure. It would not have been enough for me. I needed to see blood. But you know what? Ted isn't a Gryffindor, so he didn't need that for himself. And he also doesn't need it from, like, his wife either. He's just like, I'm going to tell the therapist how angry I am after I lash out at her a little bit. I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to work through it. Like, I have to be healthy and mature about this at all times. Like, I have to be the best version of myself always. That's exhausting, Ted. That's exhausting.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, I just, I have a difficult time relating to the way that Hufflepuff's, like, the feeling that gets projected the most in the house. That's a big one. Like, putting my best foot forward at all times, being professional, being useful, being respectful.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me. You get exactly what you get. You get what you get, and you don't get upset, as I tell the children. And, like, I respect it. It would be awesome to know a person like that in real life. I think he's a really good, kind dude. Like, so fucking good. But, whoa, man. You deserve a little rage. You've earned it. But he don't need it because he's a Hufflepuff. He don't need it.
He's a specific
better
kind
than
of
me,
Hufflepuff.
man.
Yeah, he never had his season 6 cast moment or next time. The cast moments were all because he was really, really trying to do something right and it just went wrong. Right. The only time we really saw Cass be mad for himself was when the Des divorce. When he was like, after 8 years, was like, I'm so done with this.
I'm mad. That was me. He didn't even really get mad. He didn't even get mad. He just walked away and was like, you better come after me.
Yeah.
And then there's so much of it comes back to just what a forgiving person he is. Like, even with Rebecca, when she finally admits to him why she picked him to coach the team and everything. Yeah. He gets it.
Well,
he doesn't hold anything against her.
No, and here's the thing, too, that I've been thinking about, because Ted's so big on second chances or whatever. And we know Ted's backstory is that his father committed suicide when he was like a young teen.
No second chance there.
Exactly. So I think that's like actually like a hang up of Ted's that he's probably talking through with therapy. Like, he doesn't want to he doesn't want to leave somebody, like not be there for somebody, and then something to happen to them.
Yeah,
and then he'll
so much
feel
of it
like,
has to be rooted in that fear.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
And I get, and that makes him even more endearing and more respectable. Like, he doesn't ever want anyone to feel 1/10 of what he had to have felt. And he cares about human beings so much on such a deep and genuine level.
Mm-hmm.
It gets crazy. There were points where I was watching it where I was like, I need to like be more like Ted. Like, I need to adopt a little bit of this in my day-to-day life. Like, there's just this way of thinking.
This love.
There was even
for
one day
humanity.
when me and George were driving to work where he was just like, where Ted was talking about, like, we talked about it so much. Like, where Ted was talking about, like, you don't know what someone's breaking point is going to be. Like, you don't know. You never know. Like, I'm going to start thinking that way. Like, every time I start to get mad at someone, I'm going to think, like, I don't know what your tipping point is.
Oh.
And I'm going to act accordingly. Like,
and like the Roy Kent whole, like, we don't know the reasons behind why people do things. And that's none of our business.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas, I totally get that. I think about stuff like that all the time where I'm like, you don't know what other people are going through. Obviously, that's part of empathy. But to put it to that level, to think about it, like, anyone could be teetering on the edge at any time. Like, the amount of responsibility he puts on himself to think that way constantly. It reminded me of, like, Schmidt and Jess, where Schmidt is like, do you just think about people?
Yes.
That must be exhausting. She's like, it is.
Yeah.
It is exhausting. And you can see it's worn on him heavy to have held all that on his shoulders for how long was he the coach for 3 straight years, 3 seasons?
Yep. 3 seasons.
That's a long time to have all of that on you. All of those guys, all of the side people, like, he's got a lot on him. And then his own personal stuff. And I thought it was really smart, like, to bring his mom in to explore, like, everything he said in therapy, needing to come out to a person who was there, who went through it all with him. Like, I like that they went there with the story. And that he was able to express himself to his mother that way. That whole speech was heavy. It was good. It was really well done. Yeah. And then I feel like they were done with him.
Yep. Well, that's about the only thing he got that season anyway, so.
It was rough. He deserved to smooch Rebecca.
Yeah.
He earned it.
Yeah.
But anyways.
I mean, he had sex with Sassy again. Good for him.
Yeah. I love Sassy.
Mm-hmm.
Great character. I think we could all, as much as he bugs me, I think we could all stand to be a little bit more like Ted Lasso.
I agree.
Oh, he was a great teacher.
Part of the reason people really love the show. I mean, coaches are basically the same thing. It's just teaching.
I know, but
sports.
he would have been great with kids, and he does end up coaching kids, which is awesome.
Right.
Like, he's perfect for a room full of kids who need a mentor. He would be excellent. But the guys on the team are kind of like big kids.
Yeah. They're giant.
They really are.
Giant babies.
Well, sorry, I was just thinking about Dani Rojas' girlfriend at the end. Fucking love Dani Rojas.
His dream girlfriend? His imaginary girlfriend?
I believe that
Ted imagined
was true.
for him? Yeah.
I believe. They told me to believe, and I do. Man, and you could see how frustrated Rebecca wanted that win. Like, she was not ready to let him go at all, and he was just like, yeah, but I got to do it. And she's like, but what if you don't? Like, what if you don't leave? What if you don't? And he's like, but I got it. Like, that's so much of that is her house too. The way she struggled with that.
His decision, because she respects him, but she could have.
Yeah, of course.
She really could have.
I don't know. If she had suggested bringing the kid there and, like, drew up a plan and figured it out from that angle,
she literally could have flown the kid over and been like,
his bitch of a mother may have been a problem. Okay, we don't know what could have happened, but I think it speaks a lot to Rebecca that she clearly struggled with it and wasn't ready to talk about it at certain points. Didn't want to look at it, and then to the end tried to, like, really appeal to his emotions, and then was like, all right, this is what you need to do. And I think she, like everyone else, knows it doesn't mean it's the end of everything.
Right.
So the door's open. If he ever wants to come back,
Bro,
she's gonna let him right back on.
I was so scared when she was talking about selling the whole club, because I really thought for a second she was going to do it. I was like, Rebecca, we cannot have a spinoff if you do that.
I know. I know, because they were really hammering in the fact that she was really over her husband. She was like, she didn't give a shit anymore.
No, I know, and I'm glad they did actually do that pretty well. Where they were like, because she's like, I didn't need the team anymore. This was just to get back at Rupert, and then they were like, why can't the team be for you? You know, like,
yeah, it was very well done.
Yeah.
Well, that can lead us into Rebecca.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything
Rebecca
else to
Welton.
add for Ted.
No, I don't think so.
So Rebecca is hot, and
I love Rebecca.
I think I was 10 seconds in, and I texted Lauren. I was like, "Who's this woman?"
And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's the person I told you was going to be your favorite."
Oh, how I loved her to the very end. Loved. Her, dude. The way she dressed and her hair and her makeup and her heels and her accent and her height, it just spoke to me.
Mother is what she's saying.
Yeah, it is what I'm saying. It is. What a woman. And the fact that Jason Sudeikis did not write himself in making out with her. Better man than I am. Anyway, Rebecca's another really obvious, like, hit you over the head.
I thought you tried to give her something else at the beginning.
But no.
Didn't you?
No,
like, not seriously, but you were, okay.
I immediately was like, that's a Slytherin woman, and then she's a Slytherin. And then something happened in one of the episodes where she got like really cuckoo bananas. She did something a little wild, and I was like, are you?
The karaoke bar?
No, it was like it was like episode 2. I don't remember what it was, but she had a second where I was like, oh, it was when it was really, really revealed what she was doing with Ted and why she brought him on. Where I was, and then I realized it was for revenge and to punish her husband. And I was like, wait a second, do you have a like severe punishment kink? No, it wasn't that. So for a second, I was like, are you a Ravenclaw? Have I been misled? But no. She's clearly a Slytherin from the jump.
Very much a Slytherin.
She's a Slytherin
probably
to
somewhere
the end.
around me on the scale.
Probably what?
Probably somewhere around me and Nat and.
I think she's probably a little more dramatic than you guys.
Yeah, a little closer to the middle.
Yeah,
a little closer to that Gryffindor.
I think so. I think she's well. No, I don't think I'd really give her very many. Like, that's not a house I'd confuse her for being in.
No, just more Gryffindor traits.
A flair for the dramatic, and she does have a love of Gryffindors, like as we'll see as we discuss. Whatever, you guys should know. Like, you listen to us. So she's just like such, and she's so hot. I don't.
It's true.
Wow. I can't think of words. I'm just thinking about her. She's so pretty.
No reasons for why she's. So the entire first season, she brought Ted in because Ted's not a good person to manage a soccer team. He doesn't know the rules. He's never played soccer before in his life or seen people play soccer. He was a high school American football coach, and she brought him over to England to manage her football team because her ex-husband loved the club that she wrestled from him in the divorce settlement, and she wanted to run it into the fucking ground so Rupert would sit at home and watch the games and cry. So that's why she brought Ted on. And
very normal.
Yeah. And yep. It's extremely Slytherin to not like just destroy the club openly. Like, you have to be like, no, this is totally natural. Like, I can't do anything about it. Like, I don't know. Because here's the thing. She wasn't going to give up her girl boss image. Like, you know, like, she's not incompetent. It's just that, I don't know, guys, this new manager isn't working out. So yeah, and she does try to sabotage Ted along the way, as it turns out that Ted, against all odds, is good at coaching just because of the type of person he is. So like, she like sets the paparazzi on him and Keeley to try and like leak photos and to suggest that they're together and to like have bad press or whatever. And she does some other stuff like that. And towards like the middle of the season, she kind of stops doing stuff like that.
Yeah, because, really quick.
Yeah, even though she's still in the overall like scheme of wanting to ruin the club, because she just loves Ted. Like, you can't not love Ted. Like, their relationship, which a lot of people shipped and thought would maybe go romantic, but even if it's just a friendship, is extremely nice. When Rachel was talking about if she could have a Ted friend, I was trying to think if I would be the type of Slytherin who could manage that. And I don't no. Rebecca was in the position where she was also his boss, and I think it helped her to be able to just be like, go away, Ted. He would go away.
That's true.
So
yeah, she could summon him and dismiss him at will.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I also think it's totally primarily because she fell in love with his personality. She was like, I just want this dude around. But it's also, I think that you see kind of early on, like, she's not really into her ex anymore. Like, she doesn't want to still be with him.
No.
And
from the beginning, she doesn't want to be with him.
Yeah, and pretty quickly she also realizes, like, it would be better for me to actually win with my name on his favorite team, and it would, like, through my doing, than it would be to just sink the whole thing.
I think,
and she does actually start to care about everybody.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say, too, Ted genuinely cares about her because Ted cares about everybody, and I don't think Rebecca has a lot of people in her life that, like, especially fresh off this divorce with Rupert, that, like, genuinely care about how she's feeling. Because also, at the beginning, she hadn't been talking to Sassy.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. There's so much to that where she's this child's godmother, and she hasn't spoken to them in 6 years. 6 years, right? From 6 to 12. And it's such a great relationship those two have. They can just fall back into it and be fine. And, like, there's no hard feelings about it or anything.
Yeah.
But it was just, like, very Slytherin of her to not... She didn't... I don't know. I'm sure there was some guilt about it, right? She does try to right some of her wrongs. There's that whole episode where she's with her.
I'm a mess right now, and I can't be... like, you don't deserve to be around me type of thing.
I'm sure.
And also, you want to hear about emotions, and I don't want to do emotions. So bye. Yeah,
I don't want to do them. And, like, I don't need to let any of these out. Like, I'm dealing with it in my own head. And her whole speech, I told Lauren about therapy when her and Ted are hating on therapy together. Where she's just like, why do I need a therapist? I already know what's wrong with me. I'm going to pay you money to tell me what I already know. That's for suckers. Like, super Slytherin way of looking at it, man. Like, I already know what's wrong with me, you, and everyone in this room.
I just choose not to act.
I don't care.
I'm in control.
Yeah. And was she wrong?
No.
By the end, she does get over him completely. She doesn't care about the situation anymore. She really just wants her team to win. And anything she tries to get, if she tries to get one over on him, it's because he deserves it. It's not like, it's not personal anymore to her. It's like, you've also done this to other women.
Ass person.
You're a fucking asshole, and I'm not going to let you win.
Right.
That's also very Slytherin. To be able to, like, go from it's a personal vendetta to, oh, it's actually for the greater good. Like, it's better if you're not in control or in a position of power. And I recognize that, and I'm rising above my personal need for vengeance. Like, you just shouldn't be allowed.
Society needs to be fair.
Yeah. I also like, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily a Slytherin thing or just, like, a woman who's been in a relationship with him for a long time thing. Whenever he's about to do something or charm someone, or, like, he just walks into a room, the way he's walking, she clocks it so fast. And you see the recognition of it on her face. And she's like, I know what he's about to do. I know that he's about to win in this way. I have to divert it this way because I know him so well.
That's Slytherin. She's reading people.
And she's studied him.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, it's definitely a Slytherin. I mean, it's because she was in a relationship with him for so long, she was able to study him and ultimately be like, I don't want this. She was the first one to walk away. Like, hella leave before you get left vibes.
That I was also thinking too when in season 3 when they're trying to get Zava or whatever, and they're like, Rupert's not gonna get Zava, like, don't worry about it. And she, like, tells that story of how Rupert first got her on a date where he came into the bar she was working at with his first wife and then came back a week later without his wife and asked her out. And Rebecca, of course, was like, no. But he kept coming back and asking her out and, like, giving her things. And the way she described it was extremely Slytherin. She was like, he just makes you feel like you're so, so special and you're the only thing in the world that he cares about, which is very Slytherin chosen one syndrome. That's whenever I tell when Rachel's like, why do you have this Gryffindor disease? I'm like, because they're gonna be obsessed with me, and I love that. I don't have to be obsessed with them. Like, it's great.
I'll just be your punching bag. I also like how she describes the things that he does, like that story with how he landed her and everything, or just like when he snuck into the field, or like just any stories about him that she has, or anything she's clocking about what he's about to do. She lays it out like it's data.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what I've collected and compiled. There's really no bite to the way that she phrases it or says it. Like, it's so funny that other people don't know about.
She's just like telling you something about this dude.
It's so funny that other people don't know about houses to the level that we do or the way that we use them, because it's almost like someone told her just act like a Slytherin. Like when you say these lines.
That whole thing she does too, that she tried to give Nate his advice and he totally fucking bastardized it and made it weird.
Mm-hmm.
Where she's like,
what a little freak goblin.
Where she's like, when I'm feeling like intimidated or, you know, like I need to like hype myself up. And she's thinking of it as a woman in a male-dominated industry where every all these old white men are like staring at her tits and not listening to what she says. She's like, I make myself bigger somehow. Like she doesn't like she goes in a mirror and like stretches and like roars at herself in the mirror. Mm-hmm. It's just so that kind of hype is just so such a Slytherin way of thinking. Like I do it, so I did it, and now I'm like that.
Look at a mirror and go, good enough. This will do. I can't imagine that. But
can't change anything now.
No, this is what we got. I love that she was able to do that. And she's so, like, even her whole thing with the Dutchman, that's the only thing I can call him by, right? We don't have a name.
No, he doesn't have a name.
The Dutchman, the Flying Dutchman.
I feel like that's the only house that could have done
literally
that.
The Flying
walked
Dutchman.
away without a name.
Wow.
Because she was like, the experience was more special without a name. You know my weird things about experiences and my rules for them.
Yeah. There's also like her whole relationship with Keeley too. When Keeley's in a tough spot and she just laughs about it. She's like, I can give you this money right now. Like
so I've got it as cash in my
money
pocket.
Right now.
Yeah.
And Keeley's like, literally no. I've been avoiding you for like a week because I don't want this from you. And I know you're going to say it. And she's like, I literally have this in my pocket. I don't want stop. And all the advice she was giving Keeley about Jack, she was clocking her left and right. Like when it was good, when Jack deserved to be given the benefit of the doubt, Rebecca knew. And when Jack was starting to get a little weird, Rebecca knew.
Yeah.
Like she has all this life experience that she's analyzed and just presents it to you. Even when she was saying it to Keeley, it wasn't like this impassioned, like, fuck her, or like, you need to call her. Like, it wasn't like that at all. She's like, well, have you considered that she's like trying to buy your love?
Right.
Because I've been through that and I can tell you. Like, it's so just clear and matter of fact.
And then they're at that dinner and then the waiter comes by and it's like, oh, Jack paid for it. And Rebecca's like, okay, so I need 3 bottles of the most expensive champagne you have.
One for you too, lady.
Rebecca's rich.
Yeah, I know.
She's like, if she's
really
gonna play this game, we're gonna fucking do it. Like, let's go.
Oh my God. Her whole thing with her mother too. And the psychic.
Oh, and with
where
her father.
Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, not just the psychic. The whole thing with she knew her dad was cheating and she knew that her mom knew. Yeah.
And she hated her for it.
Yeah.
She's like, that is the exact opposite of what I respect.
That's the reason I'm fucked up.
Yeah, I needed to be exactly not that. Like, and you're telling me you just live with it. Okay, I kind of hate you for that.
Right.
And she means it, but she still has a great relationship with her mother after that. Like, they're still hanging out. Her mom's going to skateboard.
I think she's a little bit like my mom's ridiculous, so we just deal with that.
Yeah, she would have to. But that was a big deal for her in her life and her childhood and like the way that she then navigated through the world. And I think, was it said that Rupert cheated on her while they were together?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, at the newspaper articles. Yeah.
But do you think she knew about it while they were married?
I think she did the divorce process the second she found out that he had a mistress.
Right. So
I think that was the storyline.
Then that's a huge thing to her characterization and her house. Like, this is my one thing that this is the one line you cannot cross. So now, goodbye. And she's unsure about it at first, for sure. Like, she's worried about it. She's nervous. She's scared. It's a big deal. And there's press coverage. It's like worse than your run-of-the-mill divorce. And she still faces it head on and goes on and does it and then has her little revenge plot and then thinks better of it and does something even better with it.
Because she was hurting people that she cared about, not because she was over getting revenge on Rupert.
Yeah. It's so funny because I want to say something like, she's not a spiteful person. That would be a mischaracterization because she is, but she's not like maliciously emotive about it. Like, take a Loki, right?
Yeah.
Who's always screaming about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like such a vengeful dickhead sometimes. She's really not like, she's just playing chess. Like she's just making moves. And she's like, well, this will make me feel good if I could take him down here. And that would make me feel good if I could do that. And she's not screaming about it. She's classy about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we stand. Anyway.
I
loved her.
Yeah.
From the minute I saw her, I loved her.
I know.
I don't know if Ted and her would make a good romantic match.
I don't know either.
To be honest. I would have liked to have seen it.
Hannah Waddingham is such an amazing actress too. I don't know. I don't think I ever told you this. So you can go back and watch the show, and those biscuits that Ted gave her, if you go into scenes where she's like eating the biscuits, you can look at Rebecca's stress level by how much of the biscuit she's eaten. Like Hannah did that intentionally.
Wow. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Good choice. Yeah, she's just very, very good. The acting on the show is like next level. I was having this conversation with someone the other day where I was just like, there's this show out right now that's excellent and amazing. It doesn't get enough hype. It's called From. It's fucking amazing.
From?
Yeah, it's called From, From.
Okay.
It's phenomenal. It's like on MGM Plus, which no one has, so no one hears about it. It's amazing. But there's one or two actors on there that are just not good. Truly, like, I watch them and I'm like, I don't believe a fucking word you're saying. And I don't have that problem with Ted Lasso. I completely believe that Rebecca's like this billionaire. I completely believe that Ted is this like sweetheart. Like, I just believe you. And it's hard for me to see them out of it now. Like, because on TikTok, you know, the algorithm, they spy on you. I'm getting like their interviews and when they're accepting awards and whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, you're not that person. Weird. They're so good. So she's excellent. So we got a Hufflepuff, we got a Slytherin.
Yes.
And I guess now we have to talk about our trio that
I guess
so many
now
people
we
wanted
do
to
that
throuple.
you said we can't talk about all together, but I think that we can.
I feel like they're so interconnected.
Yes.
I guess you could. I don't know why they didn't just go with the throuple ending for the three of them. Because it was weird to me that they were all of a sudden,
I guess if you really wanted
like,
to, you could say that was the barbecue at the end. Like they were all sitting together. So.
I mean, it was cool for them to do that ambiguously because you could say that 100% you could say that they figured it out that way. Because the Roy and Jamie beef in the last episode was fucking stupid.
I was like, you guys are trying to do this like this is a whole arc. Like, what do you?
Yeah,
and
this
I
is
was
weird.
Also so confused because Jamie hadn't done anything all season. He said he told Keeley he loved her in season 2, and then it's like, I respect your relationship with Roy. And then her and Roy were broken up, and he didn't do anything. And then in the last episode, they decided to be like, oh, he's still in love with her. I was like, what?
No, it was really weird for me. And then I've seen everybody talking about like how wrong it was of him to bring up the video that got leaked about her to like get one over on Roy. And it was. That was fucked up. Like, why'd you say that?
Yeah.
And he's had this amazing character development. And it was such like a shitty thing to say. And Roy was being shitty too. Like they were just being dicks to each other over it. And I'm glad she was like, get the fuck out.
Get out of my
I
house.
don't fucking want either of you right now. Get out of here. You're stupid asses.
She was, I get to choose.
Yeah. Oh my God, do you really?
Oh my God, you're letting me choose?
Oh my God. And then Roy's like, we're fucking idiot. Yeah. You're really stupid. Both of you are very, very stupid boys. This is why the finale made me so annoyed. I spent the whole time I was watching it, like, I loved Roy so much.
Roy's
so much.
Mm.
And then I grew to love Jamie so much.
Mm-hmm.
And they really annoyed me with that. I was like, ew. Stop. But you know who never annoyed me? Keeley. Not once.
Nope.
Keeley's perfect.
Nope.
She's never done anything wrong in her
all
life.
3 of them are Gryffindors. Extremely fascinating dynamic that they've all got going on with one another.
Are they dating? Are they parents and child?
Do they fuck? Do they fight? Like,
are they Jamie's got their posters on the wall. Are they everything weird? Ew. What?
What is it?
Yeah, what is that? The fact that you can't define it really just speaks to the fact that they're all 3 Gryffindors just all battling for that one brain cell and just like fighting for it at all times when they're together. And it makes for excellent TV. Like whether it's
the episode where they're following Jamie and Keely's like running behind the cars and like, Roy's just walking straight down
Roy's
the middle of
walking
the
like
street.
Michael Myers, and no matter how slow he's going, he's still right behind him. And Keely's like hiding, like, you'll see us. And Roy's like, ugh. It's fucking great. And then Jamie, they make you think Jamie has no idea, and then he like fakes them out, and he's like, "Why follow me? What are you doing?
What are you doing, yeah?"
I love his accent, dude. It's so good. I love how he says Keely. Keely!
Yeah.
Love that.
That's not Phil Dunster's real accent.
It's not?
No. He needs an Emmy. He really needs an Emmy for this season. He did so good. I know. Bro. That's not his real accent.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, man. This is what I was just talking about, dude. That's wild. That's wild. Okay. The one we need to talk about least is Roy.
Least?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He is what he is.
I have a little to say about Roy.
Well, you go right on ahead. I got nothing. Look at him. Watch an episode. Come on. Dude, I will tell you, like, the second I saw him with his angry fucking eyebrows and just grunting, I was like, I get this guy. He's going to lose it soon. I can't wait. Can't wait. I was like, I feel whatever you're feeling, bro. I know exactly what that is. I knew what he was the second I saw him.
I don't. So Roy starts out as captain of the team. He's like an aging captain. So he's a leader, like really naturally. He's an extremely good leader. He's got like this reputation for being like an angry, like potty mouth, like he curses all the time, and like everybody thinks it's hilarious. They're like, "Oh, Roy cursed at me." They're like, in the last season when he goes into the stadium to Chelsea and he says hi to the security guard, and he's like, "Oh man, I haven't seen you in a while." And he's like, "Oh, I heard you break up with Keely. I'm sorry, man." And he's like, "Fuck off." Like that's his love language. Is yelling is what Trent says. Roy's love language is yelling, which it is.
Whistle.
So he's a whistle. He was mouthing along to the lyrics in The Sound of Music when they were singing. And he cries and he's like, I'm not crying. No, he's Rachel's right. He's incredibly obvious. He like doesn't want to
be a diamond dog.
He doesn't want to be a part of the little therapy group. He's like, I don't need to talk to anybody. He's like
yeah, dude, it's so fucking funny.
Ted comes in with like touchy-feely stuff, and Roy's like, this is bullshit and stupid and doesn't want to do it. And like I was telling, my favorite thing about Roy is when he like comes to a realization, because you can see it so slowly coming into his brain, like so slowly.
Because he's not receptive at all.
He's not receptive,
just got a block.
and he's not. And Rachel and I kept talking about his goldfish memory. Like if something's not in front of his face, he's not thinking about it. So he's just, because I think that's how he deals with responsibility.
For sure.
You know, he's like, if it's not in front of me, I don't have to deal with it at this point. And he actually tells the whole story about that at the end, which is like a metaphor for his relationship with Keely when he's talking about why he leaves Chelsea, because he got hurt, and it was basically the thing that he was telling them was like, it was better for me to quit on my own terms than for them to tell me I wasn't good enough for them anymore. Yeah. So I feel like that's how he handles responsibility. Like as soon as he's like, I don't think I can do it anymore, he ducks out, or he only thinks about things when they're directly, immediately in his purview. Mm-hmm. So when he comes to a realization, it's so funny, he just goes, fuck. And then it's embedded into his DNA forever.
Well, that's like such a huge Gryffindor
life milestone
part of him.
Like,
and it's such a Gryffindor thing in general to receive information and then to immediately like imbibe it and then reflect it in what you're doing after. Like, okay, I learned this and now this is what it is. So.
And I think that
he
like,
tells that story about when he made that shitty comment to the guy about the baby and all that stuff when he was defending
Isaac.
What's the captain's name?
Isaac.
He was defending Isaac, like attacking the homophobic fan. He was like, I'm not giving him a pass on beating the shit out of a fan. Like, I'm not doing that.
You shouldn't beat somebody up.
But watch what you fucking say. And I know this through experience. And Gryffindors hugely learn through experience, like
especially
hugely.
Tragic moments. Never could learn to ride a bike because Granddad was supposed to teach him.
Yeah, so he's learned Like,
he
watch
imbues,
what the fuck you say.
like the other Gryffindors we know imbues like objects or places with meaning. Like when he takes Isaac to that training pitch in his old neighborhood, where he's like, I lived there and I came down here and I learned how to play football. Like that place means so much to Roy. That's why he took Isaac there. Yeah, that was another moment where Ted was like trying to get him to realize he could be a coach. And so Ted's just grinning at him while Roy does it. And Roy's like, fuck.
Leave me alone.
I know, but yeah.
Stop trying to make me better.
Well, that's the thing at the end in the finale when he finally wanted to join the Diamond Dogs and what he wanted to talk about. He was like, I've been trying to be better all season. Yeah. And I'm not better. And they're like, Roy, yes, you are. Like, that's how much, like, responsibility he's putting on himself. Because they get to the root of it. Roy expects to be perfect.
Yeah.
And they're like, bro, like, you're putting too much on yourself. Like, you could have gone back to Keeley ages and ages ago. You shouldn't have broken up with her in the first place. And
that whole thing is the one thing I don't understand about Roy. That whole thing. I don't get it.
It was the teacher's fault.
Was it?
Yes. He realizes it in that classroom when he stays to talk to her about, like, Phoebe's drawings of the boobs or whatever, and then he's, like, helping her hang it up or whatever. They have that whole conversation where he's talking about, they're talking about, like, where they are in life and what they want to do, and he's coming to the realization, I say in quotes, because it's a stupid realization, but he's coming to the realization that, like, Keeley is, like, progressing, and he feels like he's just stopped because he just retired or whatever, and that's why he goes back. And he does the photo shoot, and then he tries to take her to somewhere. I forget where he tries to take her for 6 weeks, and she says no to him. And I'm pretty sure that's what did it. That he was just like, I can't keep up with her. I'm not good enough.
That's so fucking stupid.
It's a very Gryffindor, so I don't know.
It's really dumb. Like, to fumble her is ridiculous to me because she's such a good person. And partner and like just. I mean, I think
that's why he fumbled her. He was like, "She's way too good for like I don't deserve
now
to like mess up her life like this."
Compare that with Jamie,
right?
Who doesn't have that problem at all. Same house.
I fucking just did the
does
rewatch
not
and
have
I
that
missed
problem.
the first time when Keeley was like, "Oh, did you see the people talking shit about your hair online?" And he was like, "They what?"
Looks great.
It's beautiful.
Look at the color.
It's an amber brown. It's not blonde.
First of all, he's right. Okay, let me just, so I don't expose myself as a whore to the people in my household. Wow. Season 3. Wow. Whoa. That's all I'm going to say about that. Jamie Tart. Whoa. I loved it. So he had every right to get mad about them getting the hair color wrong because that hair. Also, when he's on the fucking field and he's fucking with fans, and he's got his tongue out and he's just
he's like patting the shield,
bro.
Or when he takes dives and he gets up and he's like, eh.
Yes.
Rachel was trying to pretend the entire show that she didn't know what house he was. She wouldn't tell me until the end. I was like, just say it. And she was going through like, oh, I think he might be there. Like, I think he might be something else. He's confusing me. You're so full of shit. You're so full of it.
So what happened was I was like, I fucking hated him in the first season.
She did, and I was I was like, okay.
Really hated him.
All right, say whatever you want.
Because I recognized it. I saw parts I don't like. Okay, I saw things I didn't want near me. But
because they belong to me.
I was like, what other place could he be? Please. And I said to Lauren in the beginning, I made some like Luke and Han Solo comparison, whatever, and she's like, so you think he's a Gryffindor? And I was like, he could be anything at this juncture.
She's like, I still have to see more of him.
I need more. You don't need fucking anything past the first time you see his smug ass little face. He's so funny, dude. He is so, how did I describe it to Lauren? He's such a perfect model Gryffindor. Like,
yes, with his parents. You explained it through his parents.
Well, I mean, you see his weirdo relationship with his mother, but it's positive. Like it's very positive, and his horrible toxic relationship with his dad.
Sitting there there side-eyeing them. Like, what the fuck?
Oh man, bro. But like he knew he'd go home to mommy and like get his hair stroked and be told he's like the perfect good boy, because then when he hears from his dad, he's gonna get like punched in the face and told he's a piece of garbage, and he believes both of these things and
Simultaneously.
like exactly perfectly. He's just so he's so I remember what I said to you. I said he's so well adjusted to not being adjusted.
Yes.
And that's so interesting to examine in a character, because it's kind of like what I said before. You get what you get.
I think Jamie had the best completed arc.
Wow, man. He really did. I actually think he had the best storyline on the whole show. Mm-hmm. Like as a personal character development, like fully went to Jamie, which is why the finale made me annoyed with that. I didn't like their conversation, but barring that, like he hopped from thing to thing to thing and just took whatever was given to him and was like, all right, well, I'll figure it out. Love Island or whatever the Ted Lasso version of the show is.
It's just poop.
Didn't work out. It's just didn't work out. All right. I'm going to go back to Richmond. Nope. Didn't work out. I'm going to go to Manchester. Nope. Don't like that. I'm going to go back to Richmond. Okay. I'm going to be really good at Richmond. Yeah. He gets on the fucking field, busts his ankle. I'm
and
not
he's
going
mad
to
at
have a hurt
Zava because
ankle.
Zava's better than him. So he commits to it. He gets up at 4 a.m. and trains with Roy because he's like, I don't like not being better. And Roy's like, well, you can stop being a pissy baby about it and actually do something. He's like,
and then he does.
Right. Yeah.
And then
which
he
is
does.
part of the growth. Yeah.
Crazy.
Take responsibility.
Crazy growth.
Like you can't.
He did it.
It's on you to be the best you can be, Jamie.
I remember I was trying to put him in another house, like sneakily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was saying to George when we were watching, I was like, his whole thing with Zava, like, yeah, okay, he's jealous, fine. But I don't think it's because he wants the glory anymore. Like, I don't think he wants to be the fave. Like, I don't think he needs that. I think he's growing past it. Like, there's such development here. And then, like, a minute later, he was like, what the fuck is this guy getting all the attention? I was like, fuck, shut up. I'm trying to put you somewhere else. Work with me. Yeah, I mean, Gryffindor's gonna Gryffindor, dude. What am I supposed to do
hide
with that? No,
that's what we've said before. Gryffindors can never be anything but exactly who they are.
Yeah, and he's like such a solid example of that. He's like,
yes,
perfect,
because even
the perfect Gryffindor.
he grows. Like he's friends with the team and he's nice to the team and he's not like a fucking dipshit asshole anymore. But also still, Roy goes to him and he's like, you need to be the prickiest prick who's ever prick. Like, that's just who Jamie is, even though they all like him now.
The fact that, like, I constantly was saying the lead tasso thing, I so badly wanted an alter ego. Like, I so wish that you could just point the middle finger at me and unlock something in my head that I can go into a different character mode. Like, that would be so great, because that's what they do for Jamie. They give him the finger and he's like, right, I can be an asshole. I can let him out. Nice. Like, it's so great. It's so
gives him permission.
It's so Gryffindor. It's just, thank you. Thank you for letting me be a dick. I'm going to shine right now. It's going to be awesome.
I also, like, they did this for the sake of, like, inclusivity, but, it was very in character for Jamie when they're like, talking about Isaac must be gay because he was the one freaking out about the homophobic fan. And then Beard pulled out the, or no, it was Jan Maz, I think, who was like, 10% of the population is gay. So, there's high chance that somebody else in this room is gay as well. And they're all like looking at each other and they all like, and Jamie's like, I'm flattered. Honestly.
And he's got all the body sprays in different scents ready to fucking go, like at all times. He's just so, he's just got like the X factor, the charisma. Like he's just so quick with everything. Even his gift to Roy Kuntz jersey.
So
like,
cute. It was
he's
so cute.
funny, man.
And Roy was like, oh, I love it. Like he genuinely loved it.
Yeah. Like not many characters.
I'm sorry, that whole, when they were like, we had to invite your best friend, Uncle Roy. And he's not my best friend. He's like, yeah, I'm your best friend. He's like, but you're not my best friend. And Roy's like, who the fuck's your best friend? He's like, Isaac. Isaac's not your fucking best friend. Bullshit.
No, they're each other's best friend. For sure.
And possibly lovers. We don't know.
I don't know.
Or father-son. Jamie kind of described him as a father in the finale, so I was like...
I know. It's just take it however you want to take it, and it works.
I just remembered I can't sneak up on you old people on account of the war.
On account of the war. Dude, he's so funny. Like, that is...
I thought I had him fooled because I spelled password with 2 S's.
When people talk about main character energy, that's main character energy. Like, he just exudes it at all times. It's a throwaway line, and it's always going to be fucking aces.
You know, when I was
it.
watching the show, like, I was like, he's a fucking asshole, but I was genuinely like, I felt the loss when he left the first time, and like, you didn't know if he was coming back because I was watching the show, like, in real time. Mm-hmm. I felt the loss where I was like, he was a fucking dick, but I like, this was a good, like, like, you know, like, I wanted to see more.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad that they continued.
Yeah, he became so awesome. And it was so naturally and well done. Like, they made him work for it. Not too much that, like, they didn't batter him about it, you know? Like, they gave him a shot, and
he had to work for him.
He apologized, he worked, and he figured it out. He, like, came back so funny and so strong. And so he fixed his own brain. Like, he fixed whatever his problem was in his own head, and he got out there and he did the damn thing. And I really love that character. I can't believe that's not his accent.
I know.
Wow.
I just the way that he, well, actually, the way that so the way that Roy and Keeley broke up was extremely Gryffindor, where they like, well, we didn't see their actual breakup, but they sat Phoebe down and were like, Keeley was like, we're on a break, and Roy was like, we're broken up.
Yeah.
But the way that Jamie and Keeley broke up, which we did see, was also extremely Gryffindor. When Keeley was like, I don't think it's working anymore, and Jamie was like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. This doesn't need to be a big to-do.
Yeah.
But
the whole
go ahead.
At the auction, when like Jamie was trying to like to use Keeley and like to make Keeley jealous, and then Roy was a part of it. And well, actually, we can talk about Keeley now because Keeley was trying to use Roy to make Jamie jealous. And Roy was like, I don't fucking appreciate that. Like, laugh.
Yeah, he's made me feel like an idiot. I don't like it.
All of you know my ass isn't hairy. I'm not even said a thing. I'll never forgive you for that. He's right. We all know his ass isn't hairy. We're cowards.
They need a spin-off. For real. Like, I just want to watch the three of them.
I just
Someone on Twitter said I want to watch the three of them solve crimes. I love that show, dude. That would be my favorite show.
I remember what else you said to me about, sorry, we're jumping back to Rebecca, but the panda lion thing. When Rebecca was, he was like, would you rather be a panda or a lion? Rebecca's like, I don't fucking have time for this. I don't care. And Ted's like, a panda. And Rebecca turns around and is like, are you fucking stupid?
It's the stupidest fucking thing anyone's ever said. Why don't you want to be a panda? Like, she couldn't help it. It was very Southern. But Keeley is so delightfully Gryffindor. Like, I've never seen this woman get mad except one time, and it's when Roy was suffocating her. And like, oh, it's so cool. Like, you have to also feel this when you see a character in your house perfectly describe a feeling that you've had and express it the way you express it. Like, it's so gratifying because
Jamie
when she
did
yelled
that
at him
a couple of times.
Oof, man.
When he was talking about, it's like I have erectile dysfunction of the heart.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm like that Red Bull man who doesn't have no wings no more, Roy. Where are my wings?
Oh my God.
Anyway,
okay, no, I'm not relating to that. I just the way that she like really needed space from him, and she's like, and you're always either turning me on or pissing me off, and I'm really sick of it, and I just need to be left alone, and I need to watch Sex and the City alone in my room, leave me alone. Just the overstimulation of someone fucking being right there. Oh man, do I ever get that? Like, I've totally had outbursts exactly like that in my life.
The same episode he finds her getting off to his crying when he retires early. And then he puts it on vulnerable, and I love it.
That is so Gryffindor. I can't even begin to tell you. you were showing feelings and emotions, and they were like really
You never
genuine.
usually do that.
It was really hot. Because the opposite's also true to a Gryffindor, right? Like, oh, you're so like stoic and unemotional, and
which
it's
is
great.
Roy, yeah.
But then I broke through. I could break through. That's so hot. He's a really good partner for her. I really wanted to see that.
I fucking love them.
together.
That was basically the praise the entirety of season 2. Like, they're probably the best, healthiest couple
Yeah, they're
that I've
very
ever
well suited.
seen on a television show. Yeah.
It was very good. Like when they're going around knocking on doors to find a dentist for Phoebe. Like,
Yes.
she was the sweet to his, I don't know, sour. I guess. They're like
stoic. I don't know.
Just, it was so nice to see them together. But for her on her own, like her whole thing with Jack, when the video gets leaked,
Oh God.
her immediate response is like panic. Okay, I'm panicking. Obviously, that would be anyone's response. But she immediately was like, I'm not going to be made to feel ashamed of this. Right. I'm not ashamed that I recorded it. I don't feel bad about that. I'm not going to apologize for it. It was like extremely Gryffindor of her to not even consider it. And she just let it kind of sit there and felt Jack out and was like, is this what you really want me to do? And she gave her a chance. Then she gave her another chance. She gave Jack another chance until it was like Keeley knew, like she could tell that there was a bug up Jack's ass about it. Yeah. And that's a big thing with Gryffindors,
well, and like
obviously.
Jack didn't call her girlfriend either when they went out.
Yeah.
And she canceled the...
Yeah. When that girl came up to them on the golf course, she like did not acknowledge her as a girlfriend. And they're obviously dating. She had just said in the episode before, like how seriously she was taking it. You said it to The Office. And then this thing, like... She knew. She could tell. And I do think that's a big thing with Gryffindors is like, vibe check. Your vibe is off. Don't like it. What's wrong with your vibe? So she just kept poking at it. Not overbearingly. She wasn't like, tell me how you really feel. Tell me. She was just like waiting it out. And when Jack finally admitted, like, I can't be seen with you. It's embarrassing. And it's weird that you're not embarrassed. Keeley was like, cool, you leaving? You coming back? Peace. See ya. See ya never. Like, she didn't break down over it or anything because she had it in her head. I'm right. I am actually correct here. I'm not going to be made to feel fucking bad about this. And then Jack pulled the funding out from her company and she fully like shut down. Like she didn't answer any of Rebecca's texts. She went off and did her own thing, which is also hugely Gryffindor. Like, don't fucking bother me. I really need to figure this out. Like, I cannot have a conversation with you. I need to just kind of walk through it, not directly looking at it and, do other things, and then we can talk about it. And she didn't immediately want it fixed. She needed to like go. I think she also took some
time to kind of Roy not look directly at it as well.
Absolutely,
just be like,
but that's the thing is that Rebecca would have made her face it, so she's very like, Rebecca
would have been like, okay, we need to make a plan. Like, we have to start doing things right now.
And she's like, no, I need to just like wander the streets of London for a minute and like be angry at my ex-girlfriend and my ex-boyfriend.
Employmentless.
And you could see how touched she was when Roy gave her the apology. It was so funny. He's like, you don't have to read it right now.
I was going to, when I watched that live, when she was like, I can't actually read, I was like, I would have made him read it out loud too. Like, you go, girl. It just felt very Gryffindor to me. Like, no, you got to read it to me. Like,
no, I want to see you do it.
You tell me about your feelings. What do you want to say to me?
And they're so funny because like you can tell people on the show, like they look at Keeley as she's good at being emotional and getting something emotional out of a person, because she's like bright and bubbly and fun and whatever, but she like fucks Jamie up more. She's like, right, yeah, fucked it up. You have to follow him now. Well, because like you don't send a Gryffindor in to fix a Gryffindor. What is this, amateur hour? Like, you people don't fucking do that.
Rachel
they need a different
had her
house.
What did you said? She reminded you of Rose and Donna, right?
Yeah, she's like their baby. More Rose though. She takes after the Rose side.
Yeah, the bubbly.
Just, so much, but the like not taking any shit too sometimes reaches Donna levels, but it's all very Rose Tyler. She falls wherever exactly Rose does probably. She just doesn't get as angry. She just kind of is like, right, okay, well, I'll figure it out. It might as well have gotten fucked up. Sure, why not? I'm just gonna keep going. Like I'm gonna figure it out, and it's really. Roy does kind of the same thing. It's just on a different a part of the scale in an angrier way.
Keely just Keely almost has like she has a lot of faith in the people that she loves or thinks she knows. It's not like Ted level, like Ted's like everybody, all humans. But like with Shandy or with Jamie when he was a dick, Keely's like, oh, he's not really that bad. Like you gotta give him a chance. Like I have some faith in them, and it's like it turns out maybe that's not the case. But
well, immediately when we met her friend, I remember telling George was like, this is a bad idea. And I was like, I'd hire her. What do you mean? Give her a chance. What the fuck? Like I know her. What do you mean?
By the way, I fucking ended up loving Barbara. My favorite addition in season 3. I fucking love
She's
Barbara.
the MQ Joe of Ted Lasso.
Yes. Yeah. But I remember before we knew that Shandy was going to be a fuck up, when it was like the first episode and Barbara came in and was like, kind of like, oh, so you have no work experience, no education.
Yeah.
And Keely went after her and was like, you have to give her, like, you cannot be mean like that in front of her, and you have to give her. And she actually, like, Keely was wrong about Shandy specifically, but what she taught Barbara was correct.
Yeah.
So, like.
Well, I think Ted was wrong about Nate, but the show doesn't let me have that. So I guess only Keely can fuck up.
I was terrified they were going to make Nate manager. So I'm just glad that he wasn't even a coach. He went back to assistant.
But I think
water boy.
Now that y'all know that that's
Kit
a Gryffindor trifecta, maybe you can like re-examine why people are so crazy about them. Like, I want them together as a couple, or no, they're the parents and that's the child, or no, they're just best friends. Like, it's truly the soccer ball's the brain cell, and they're all just fucking trying to kick it into each other's goals, and they're sharing it. Oh, give it to Jamie. Jamie needs it today. No, pass it back to Keely. No, like, they're fucking ridiculous, bro.
Roy's trying to grow today.
He's trying to grow. He's doing his best. They're actually all, like, I'm messing with them, as I like to do with members of my house. They're all actually really smart in their own individual, very different ways.
Paradoxical, weird ways.
They all three of them bring different things.
Jamie's the most obvious one that drives me crazy. Like, I'm like, because of the whole, like, I thought I had him fooled because I spelled password with 2 S's, but he's actually, like, really smart, like, when he says things. So, whatever.
I think it's just, Roy's probably the slowest to learn because he's the oldest and most set in his ways. And, like, the introduction of Ted and the relationship with Keely and everything.
He didn't go to real school, I don't think, either. At, like, age 9, he went to, like, football school.
But I'd say that he's, as most Gryffindors are, is, like, very emotionally intelligent already. He can pretty much pick up on things around him, and I think
Gryffindors are, like, naturally emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, I just think he didn't have, I don't know if it's, like, enough support or guidance to help himself.
The biggest fuck up I saw was when he asked Keely who she made the video for, and he, as he was saying it, he immediately was like, nope, that was an inside thought, and I let it get outside my brain.
Yeah. No, I let it out. Fuck. But he has a lot of growth too, and you see him at the end. He's finally in therapy. So, and he wanted to be a diamond dog.
And a diamond dog. He's also a diamond dog.
Yeah. He'll get there. Yeah. So
it's just a random Gryffindor moment when Jamie got hurt, and Roy's like, "Put him in. I fucking played hurt all the time." Yeah. It's like, you can't walk up the stairs. Like,
so
everybody run but Roy. Why don't you get a whistle? I'm allergic to metal.
Whistle.
Why don't you get a plastic metal? Why don't you get a plastic whistle? Because I'm not a fucking pussy.
That's lame, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. So you got a Hufflepuff, a Slytherin, and 3 fucking Gryffindors.
What? Beard, I guess.
Yeah, Beard's a Ravenclaw, though.
Dani, like, I know. I don't know what I don't know what to say about that. Watch the show.
Watch the Beard episode of him just wandering under the blue moon.
Dani Poolhouse is a Ravenclaw.
Dani Rojas, football is live.
Football is life, bro. Yeah, not Poulos.
Football is life, but football is death. But football is also just football. I told Lauren, I put him in Ravenclaw the second I like thought about it, because this is where I put Coach in New Girl. His system was coaching. Dani's system is football.
Football. The fucking episode where he's introduced and they're like, oh, somebody as good as Jamie, and he's just fucking, and Jamie kicks the ball and hits the crossbar, and Dani's like, oh, are we playing a game? And then he's hitting the crossbar.
What about how quickly he can fucking remove the mask of humanity to fight Van Damme in that one match? Like,
when he plays for Mexico?
Fuck? Rip his face open with, dude, like, that was extremely Ravenclaw.
When they're in the Netherlands, and he's like, I want to see a tulip, and they're like, don't you mean a field of tulips? He's like, no, I think it would be overwhelming. I just want to see a single tulip. And they're like, and one vote for tulip. He's like, that could be anybody. And they're like, he wrote it in Spanish, and Dani's like, could have been anybody.
I love that he just is who he is, but you also never know what version, because now you know there's a sneaky fucking killer hiding under the cute mask.
Then, like, Zava shows up, and he's like,
I love Zava.
I love Zava.
He's dead to me. He gave you shirts. Can I have two?
Can I have two? I can't get invested again.
He just loves so fiercely. Everything is so passionate. Everything he does is so passionate. I love him. I fucking love him. You guys have no idea how much I love this dude. He got maybe like 2 lines per episode sometimes, and I was still like, best line of the show. Best fucking thing anyone has ever said. Dani Rojas, say it again. I love that dude, man. All right, who else?
Sam? Did we ever talk about Sam?
I mean, he's a Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Hella Hufflepuff, dude. The whole thing where, like, he has to be true to himself, best version of himself at all times, like, very, very into Nigerian politics, and then also English politics when they're being fuckos about immigrants and about, like, people, refugees.
Loves his dad, looks up to his dad.
Hugely looks up to his father.
Names his restaurant after his dad.
Oh, I love his father.
He brings, he opens that restaurant to bring Nigerian food to England.
Yeah, come on, we're talking about communities here.
Yeah.
Like, he's very, very big on his community, and, like, I love and hate that he leaves Richmond in Ted's dream and plays for the Nigerian team, because I know it's what he would
wants, go back to Richmond.
I, like, want him.
You don't, the Nigeria, that would be temporary.
Would it?
Yeah.
I thought they were trying to say that, like, the guy from Ghana that was horrible to him,
right,
fucked up the deal, so that wasn't his team anymore, but a team did form, and they got Sam on it.
No, the Nigerian team was never his team. He just paid the Nigerian government so much money that they didn't select Sam for the team. He didn't own the team.
I get that, but I thought we were being shown Sam move to a Nigerian specifically Nigerian team. So
how football works is that
I don't know.
The country teams are not year-round teams. Every player has a home. So like Alex Morgan, who plays for the U.S. women's team. So when the Women's World Cup and the Olympics is happening, Alex Morgan you have to try out and make the U.S. team. But Alex Morgan's regular team is the Seattle Sounders, which is a women's U.S. soccer team in Seattle.
Cool. So
Richmond would be the Seattle Sounders, and then when it's Olympics time or World Cup time, she plays for the U.S. team. So that's what Sam means. So Richmond is his home team, but he wanted to play for the Nigerian team in world matches.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's just extremely fucking helpful. But, like, the sense of justice, right? It's just, it is what's right. I'm not going to put the name of a company that's ravaging my country on my shirt. I'm not. I'm covering it up, and either that's gonna it's just gonna fuck me up, right? He didn't expect any of them. And
actually, Rebecca's response was because it was with her goddaughter. I wish we had seen her again. But yeah, where she was like, I guess that's part of her relationship with Sam too, and why she fell for. Rebecca's a Hufflepuff lover, isn't she? But,
yeah, she is. She a Gryffindor lover.
yeah, she likes those emotion houses. Yeah. Did we ever see her really like interact one-on-one with Beard? I don't think she went near him. She was like.
Not really. No, she's like, I need all these little happy, weird people around me actually, at all times. Give me another one of those little blonde bitches. Yeah.
But yeah, she immediately tells, what's his name? Whoever owns the oil company, whatever, that she can't, that they're not using him anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'll help you just get rid of Sam. And she's like, pass. Not gonna do it. Like, it was great. One of the things I fucking loved about season 1 specifically was every time I thought there was gonna be a big thing that was gonna get dragged out as a problem, it never did. They immediately put the fire out, and they were like, doesn't have to be a big deal. That was one of them. I fucking loved that. I really respected that storytelling. But also Sam's Hufflepuff for the way that he was viewing Rebecca too. Like he immediately was like, "We can make this work. I'm gonna keep getting
told
better."
His daddy all about her. His dad about her.
Oh my god. He just is such a delightful human being. I just fucking loved him. And he had such courage in his convictions and just like the fucking the restaurant, everything. On Twitter, he was out here fucking truth bombing that bitch. Like, you're an asshole, and I can speak soccer and have thoughts, and I don't care. Everyone, come to my restaurant.
The way that he handles, the Richmond, I forget his name now. When he like starts throwing the fit and like screaming at him and Sam's just like standing there smiling. Like,
yeah,
you know,
the guy from Ghana. I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his name. Or like, I do remember Francis, the guy who gave handshakes, the best handshake in the world. When he's like, Francis, don't do this to me. But he does it. Like, what is making you shake that man's hand? But he does it.
Yeah. He's like very like Ted that way. Like, I'm just going to let it play out. You have your tantrum. That's okay. I hope you become better. I'm going to say what's right, but I still hope the best for you. Like, he's very Hufflepuff that way. They're very, I bet you they're very close on the scale. Mm-hmm. But Sam's further along. Yeah. Yeah, they're housemates. I don't know who else. Who else?
Nate is a Hufflepuff. We don't really talk about it, though. Higgens is a Hufflepuff.
Sassy's a Gryffindor.
Sassy's a Gryffindor. Did you have Isaac sorted?
No. Didn't even think about it, to be honest with you. I had a hard time with Isaac.
Did you sort Colin?
No.
So I think we probably did everybody. We really thought about it.
We really thought about it.
Yeah. I mean, that was like 8 people already that I could put on the graphic, so.
I know. Well, you could just, like bubble the big ones and then do little bubbles for the ones that we just briefly touched on.
The Gryffindor trifecta.
Their names don't have to be in the whole fucking thing. And Sassy and Beard and Colin. Yeah, I mean, the characters that everybody's talking about right now are the ones that I was thinking the most about, just in terms of who was starting. I was trying to keep it to main, but it's difficult in an ensemble cast like that.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, even side characters in parentheses
they
are,
were
like,
important.
really, main. Like, Sam gets huge storylines in each season.
He does, and Beard's wife is a Ravenclaw too.
Yes. Yeah, she is.
I had to let that be said. Those weirdos, man.
They should not. Rachel was like, I think they're perfect. And I was like, they should not be dating.
No, I don't think they're, by any means, what we should look for in a relationship. I just think they're perfectly suited for one another.
When Beard was like, I learned that at Codependent Anonymous, Jane makes me go with her. I was like, what the fuck?
Dude. Yeah, I don't know. So also Beard had the thing that Dani has, and also that like Charlie Kelly has, and that all of these fucking Ravenclaws have, where they can just, they're exactly who they are 1 minute, and then all of a sudden they're in a dark hallway staring at you with the hood on, and they're just like, time to take you to school, son. Like, what the fuck? You're scary, bro. So it's many of them have this ability.
Damon on the right side of Slytherin pushing Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
With his special little hood.
He is touching it.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. Oh my God, what a good show. I really am so happy we watched it. I wish for a different ending. I wish for a season 4.
Apple TV calls it the season finale, so hopefully it's not the series finale.
Let us pray.
Let us pray. Our God,
next up is Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls, finally. Trish is going to be here.
Whoop,
next
whoop.
time you see Rachel and I, we will be changed women.
We will.
We'll have seen Taylor Allison Swift live in concert.
Okay, she's jinxing it. I have a flight that's like right before. I don't know if I'm going to see this woman perform.
Can you leave early? Did you ask?
I did. I'm going to leave a half an hour earlier.
Yeah. Oh, half an hour. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not great.
1:50.
Oh, I can't do math. 1:30.
That's more than half an hour. It's like an hour earlier.
It's 50 minutes. Oh, yes. Nailed it. I'm going to do my best to get there, and I'm going to do my best
She's
to
gonna
hobble
get
my way to the
here.
stadium.
Calm
Lauren, let me know I
down.
have to walk a mile. All right. You better have some city bikes or some shit over there.
We have pedicabs once you get onto museum campus. They'll be fucking expensive probably, but those are the things you get on where a man bikes and you
I
get
know.
pulled
Well,
behind
I'm
him.
just imagining him actually taking the money that I'm going to pull out of my bra. We'll see. We'll see how cool he is. All right. Anyway, we are planning tentatively on seeing Taylor Swift together. I'll let you know
That's not
next time
okay.
if that happens.
I'll let her do that for her superstition.
Thank you. So catch you next time. Thanks for
When
listening.
we actually will, I'm not gaslighting you this time. We will be doing Gilmore Girls.
We will. She's right today. Yay!
Woohoo!
Yeah, and we'll tell you about what's coming up next later. Like, be patient and, don't be greedy.
Yeah,
You don't
this
need
is
to know yet.
that gets you to the end of June. You know what happens in June.
Woo!
July
I know what
is-
fucking happens in June.
The end of July.
What a great
Oh.
question.
I know what it is. I'll tell. Fine. We're doing the Star Trek movies with Chris Pine for Hannah's birthday. That's the first
Take that
episode
right
of July. And the second one is we're revisiting Nancy Drew,
All right.
which Rachel and I might get to watch together.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But we can try.
Who did we? Bess and Carson and Ryan. I think is who we plan to do.
Well, we'll have lots to talk about. I fucking love Ryan, bro. All right. That's for another time.
Anyway,
Thanks for listening.
heaven knows I tried.
Yeah, I don't know
Find us on
how much
SOB.
you succeeded, but
_pod.
give Ted a better ending. Thank you. Thank you and good night.
2K23.
Yeah, goodbye. Thank you for listening to Sort of Brilliant. If our sorting choices inspired any rage or excitement, we'd love to hear from you. We're open to feedback, suggestions for characters to sort, and solid counter-arguments with citations.
Never forget your citations. You can find us hanging out on Twitter and Instagram at @SOB_pod or shoot us an email at sortofbrilliant@gmail.com.
And since we're not above begging, please rate and subscribe to Sort of Brilliant on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please share our posts on social media. And if you're a Gryffindor, maybe you'll inspire sorting fights among your own friend group.
The theme music is Hot Shot by Scott Holmes. Can't wait to sort with you again next time. Bye!